to Talking Treasures, a CTV Perth production. Today we're at the fabulous Rockingham Hotel and we're going to be speaking to some of our experts about the treasures that you at home have bought in. Today our experts are Matt Donnelly on collectibles, Gilly Hayes on jewellery and silverware, Grant Stone on books and toys, and John Stringer on fine arts. Let's go have a look and see what they say about the value and the history of these items that you've bought in. Hello ladies, how are you? What's your name?
My name's Hilda Dixon.
Ruth Acton. And what have you bought for us today?
I've got some pipes to have a look at. They're in their cases at the moment.
Oh wow. Where do these come from?
They're actually from my great-grandfather.
Yeah.
And so they've come from England. I assume so. He was a sea captain. Wow, that one's a bit hard to open. I'll open that one in.
And are you locals or?
Yes.
And how did you hear about the show?
In the local newspaper.
So, what information are you hoping to get about these?
I'd be interested to know how old they are, exactly, where they were manufactured, information like that.
Are you hoping they're worth a bit?
I wouldn't sell them even if they were, but I mean, it's nice to know.
Yeah.
It may be good for insurance purposes if they were anyway.
Oh, well, there you go, yeah.
You know.
Oh, well, good luck with everything.
Thank you.
What have you bought over here?
I've brought a picture.
Oh. And what do you know about it so far?
Not a lot, only that my parents bought it at an auction when they first came to Australia in the 60s, and mainly just to find out who it's by, because I haven't been able to find the name anywhere.
What is it? It looks like Johnny Trube or something.
Tribe. It's got Johnny Tribe on the front,
yeah.
But then it's got a whole heap of writing on the back as well. So.
Ah, and you said you bought it at an auction, did you?
Yeah, in the 60s.
Hello Annette, welcome to Talking Treasures.
Thank you.
You brought us some things to look at today.
Laurel and Hardy salt and pepper shakers.
That's a lovely little piece, isn't it? Can you tell me what you know about it? I mean, how did you come by it?
Well, they were given to my mother 50 years ago when I was 3, and she gave them to me about 20 years ago. She never liked them, but I always loved them, and they've never been used
Right.
as salt and pepper shakers.
Well, as I'm sure the camera can see, they're a salt and pepper shaker in the likeness of Laurel and Hardy, early film comedy stars in the 30s and so forth. I suspect these were probably made in the 40s perhaps, but they're doubly interesting. Firstly, the film connection, but secondarily because they're made by Beswick, a company in England that put out a lot of China novelties, and they're better known nowadays for making animals, very lifelike porcelain representations of animals and so forth, but they're very much collected, Beswick, so this makes it a very nice collectible piece on two fronts, one that it's Beswick, the other that it's Laurel and Hardy. They've never been used, as you say. I understand that they were given to you when you were 3. I'm impressed that a 3-year-old's managed to keep them without dropping them or smashing them, so he's done very well.
Mother took care of them for me.
She did, yes. But the interesting thing is that, unfortunately, they're not in the very peak of condition. The camera can probably pick up here this crazing. It normally means that the piece of china has been subjected to a certain amount of heat. The body is an earthenware body, and it has the capacity for it to expand and contract without damaging the glaze is less good than porcelain. But this will affect the value. The glaze has opened up a tiny bit. Either tea or some kind of substance has seeped in and left a stain, and you can't get that out with any great degree of success. So it will affect the value. But even so, even with a little, the few problems with the surface, the fact that it doesn't have a cork, the corks from the bottom, is not a problem. It would have had a little bit of cork. It would have dried up by now probably anyway and would have been fairly useless. But at auction, nice little collectible piece like that, even in that condition, could be expected to bring $100, $120 to a collector worth a good bit more. And You know, they were never sold as collectible pieces. Really, they were amusing, functional pieces to pop on the kitchen table. But a nice object nevertheless, and you've kept it in lovely condition.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for bringing it. You've got something else, I think, haven't you?
It was my grandfather's, and I always thought it was a cigarette holder, but it could be a cigar holder. The bottom has come away.
It's a cigar holder or cheroot holder, and it's very nice. This it's a Victorian one, or probably I'm guessing the turn of the century, but lovely detail, lots of nice carving, rosebuds and so forth. You can see from the shape of the case that it's actually missing the sort of trumpet-shaped part into which the cigar or whatever would normally be put. The pipe is made of something called meerschaum. This substance here is meerschaum, which is to be truthful, I don't actually know what it's comprised of, but it's a rather clay-like subject material that is carved into these ornate shapes and so forth. That is amber, the mouthpiece. That's sad because that's damaged as well. Yeah.
Turns around.
Other way.
Yeah, that was.
Yes, okay. The mouthpiece is nibbled off. They get terribly fragile. It's not terribly durable material anyway, amber. It's not like plastic.
Yeah.
It fractures quite easily. You can see that it's got sort of perished and just.
I wonder if he bit it or something.
More than likely, chewing on the end of it. Sitting by the fire, chewing the end of his pipe. But this starts out white, and this has got the most beautiful golden brown shade, which is a rather desirable feature in a meerschaum pipe. It means it's been much used. I guess it's probably the nicotine that makes it go like that. The damage to it, unfortunately, has a fairly severe effect on its value. Its value is largely sentimental now.
Well, I've never seen anything like it, especially not with the little case.
No, we get a lot of these, and in fact, this was an expensive form of pipe. They weren't used by everybody, and so they did come in these very nice little fitted leather cases. This is unusual because it appears to be crocodile skin. It's a nice quality object. I'm guessing it's Middle European, probably German, Bavarian or whatever. They produced a lot of these pipes, hence the name meerschaum. It would have been an expensive piece in the first place.
My grandfather came from England.
Did he?
So,
yes. But a lot of pipes came from that part of the world. Value, moderate. In truth, it probably wouldn't bring more than $30 or $40 at an auction because of its condition. But it's a tragedy because it's a nice representative piece. But the sentimental value is the main thing for you, I'm guessing. It's a very nice object, and I'm really happy to have seen it.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
This looks like a drawing. Ruth, do you want to tell me something about it? Where did you get it?
It was my parents. They came over from England in the early 60s and they bought it from an auction in Perth, and that's all I know.
Okay. So it's been in your family's possession since the 60s? Yeah. It's got its signature on it, John Tribe. He's a known artist, as a matter of fact, and it seems it's got a date. Looks like 55. You don't know where it is, do you? It looks like an actual
It
place.
has Gisborne, and my mum said that she sort of remembers Gisborne being next to a river. And
Yeah, well, look, I don't know Perth well enough. I've lived here for 18 years, but I guess Gisborne's part of it. I don't really know. It's an ink drawing on. Looks like it's on a prepared board. John Tribe is an artist who's known. I've heard of his name. He certainly is around. As a matter of fact, it says Gisborne, England. Yeah, but Tribe, I'm sure, is an Australian artist. It needs a bit of attention. I mean, the piece hasn't faded, but you can see this mount board is badly discoloured.
I'm wondering if I should have it remounted because it seems that it's leaking.
I would get it off altogether because this looks to me as though it's acidic, and this is why the colour has changed. This being white is probably a better quality board that the artist has worked on. It's been damaged in a couple of places. It looks like silverfish have attacked it there. Can you see that?
Yeah.
And up here as well. And I mean, fortunately, they haven't done too much damage. But that's another reason to get it out of the frame, because their children might be living in there still. If it was England, that this would perhaps be an older, 19th, 18th century even village with a certain amount of rustic decay. And this is where I wonder if it could be Australia, because it looks like the thing hadn't really been built very long when this was photographed, when this drawing was made. Yeah. If you like it, you have to decide how much you like it, because to get it remounted is probably going to cost you $100 or something like that. And so you want to be certain that you want to spend the money on it. I personally think it's worth that expenditure. I certainly do. Although it's not an artwork of any great value. It's nice, it's professionally done, and it's very pleasant. It's a nice piece of decoration, it's a good size. And apart from that silverfish damage, it's in reasonable shape. There's a little bit of seepage here, this discoloration, and a little bit up there as well. But it's in reasonable shape. I don't think you'd need to have anything done to it apart from remounting.
It was packed away for a long time in my parents' attic until it came to me. So.
Well, that's probably when the silverfish moved in on it. Yeah. It's just a pity that it is a little bit damaged. But yeah, it's nice.
Don't go away, guys. We'll be back with more after the break on Talking Treasures from our experts.